Welcome back to Mackenzie Woodworking. We're going to take you on a project today that we're harvesting our grapes and making wine. We've done some videos on using wine barrels and building different things out of them, tables and smokers. So we had quite a bit of interest, so we thought we'd show you making wine. So these are our own grapes on our own property, and they're ready to harvest. It's fall here on the West Coast, and there's a bucket full of them. So we'll just take those over to the table, and don't wash them. You don't want to wash the natural yeast off your grapes. Here they are in a container, and what we'll do is we'll de-stem them. We just do it by hand. We just put on some music and pull the grapes off by hand and put them into a container. One thing about it, you don't want everything is sterilized. We sterilize all our containers, and we use stainless steel when we can. If we're using plastic, we'll put a cap full of bleach in it and swish it around and give it a good rinse and make sure that's all washed out. And we just hand pick them all. I like getting the purple on my hands, so I don't use gloves. Making wine is a natural thing and brings you back to the grapes. So after we've picked all the stems clean of the grapes, we put them into a container here. This is in my basement, my little corner of the wine room and processing. And we put them in a covered container there, and they'll stay there between 5 and 6 days. And here it is here, covered up. And then we turn it twice a day. Once in the morning and once in the afternoon or after supper. I'm not going this fast. I just speeded up the video to show you it being done. And basically what I'm doing is just pushing them down and moving them across the bottom. And they'll start to bubble, and the smell when you do this is just incredible. And all I've done is made a cedar stick with a T in the bottom of it. So this is after 6 days, and we're outside. And what we'll be using is a colander, and we'll transfer the grapes to the colander and pour off the juice and run it through the colander the first time, and put all the. Once we get it into the colander, we'll just run it through once, and then transfer all the grape skins to the other container, and then we'll run that juice through a sieve again. And what we use is cheesecloth in our wine press, and we'll run all the grapes through it. And there's the first run. There's a bunch of juice, and you may think there's green in there, but we have grapevines above these buckets. And there's our press. So we'll be running our juice through that and through the cloth, and then that'll take any of the debris that went through the colander. And there's all our grape seeds and skins, and we'll just put that through and press it out and get our grape juice. And I like to do this outside. Like I said, it's the most important thing about doing your own wine at home is making sure everything is sterilized. You do not want to introduce any bacteria into the wine that's not off the grape skins. And there's our press. It's not a very big one, but it works for us. It's a beautiful fall day out here, so I slowly just give it a few turns and let the press work itself. But you can see the color of the juice. It's just a beautiful dark burgundy. Just giving it a few cranks, and we'll just run that through. And then once we run this through, then we'll take it out, and the grape skins and seeds are great in your compost pile. So don't throw them out. Put them in some pots or compost. It's great. But there's the juice there. It's always good to taste it at this point. You can taste how sweet it is. So there's all my tools all being sterilized, and everything's all washed up and ready for the next process. And then we'll cap everything off and put it away. So there's our juice, and what we're doing is just transferring the juice to carboys. We have 2 carboys, larger one and a smaller one. What we'll do is transfer that over, and what I have is the siphon hose on a stick with a rubber band on it, and I'm about 3/4 of an inch off the bottom. And what I do is put all the grape juice and everything into the container, wait for 2 or 3 hours, and then transfer it over to the carboys. And this will leave a little bit of settlement in the bottom. We're also making grape jelly, so any leftover juice will go into the jelly. There it is there. And now we'll transfer that to the basement. And what I'm doing is putting a latex glove on the top, and this is to make sure that the wine is working. It should create carbon monoxide, and that glove should inflate. If it doesn't inflate, then you need to add some yeast or some sugar to get it working. But we'll do that to both, and we'll bring them back to the basement and store them, and we should know within a day or two how much gassing off will be coming out of the grapes. There they are. This is the next morning, and I've just given them a swirled, stirred up the grape juice, and you can see the gloves are inflated. So what I'm going to do is transfer the grape juice from the smaller container into the bigger container just to top it up. I only like it down about an inch or 2 from the top. I don't want a lot of air in the container. And then we'll put the rest of the juice in a 1-gallon jug. We are the next morning, and we've transferred the juice over, and we've given the carboy a bit of a shake to get all the sugars and everything mixed up. And you can see it's quite active. This will go on like this for about a day or 2, this much gassing off. And what I've done is put an airlock on top of it, and then we transferred the balance of the juice into a smaller container. And the same thing, I don't like a lot of oxygen on top. So what we're doing is making a natural wine here. Just letting everybody have a peek at our wine closet. People that make wine like wine cellars, so it's a bit of a peek, and some of our signs on the wall. So we will leave our wine in the carboys for about 6 months, and then we'll bottle it and rack it, put it in the racks with our other bottles that we've collected from different parts of the world. And there's some cider on the floor. Just did some pear cider last week, which is great too. And it's good to taste it along the way. I taste it at least once a month to make sure that there's nothing going wrong with it. But this is a natural wine, so we didn't add any yeast, didn't add any sugar or any other chemicals. It's the way that they did it 3,000 years ago or better. So there's some pictures of our closet again, and some different things. But I hope you make some wine, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please subscribe. It helps me out, and I'll make more videos, and please follow along. Thank you very much.